Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Mohawk Motors. My name is Jason. Kicking off, I think this is going to be part 4 of my all-wheel drive single cab short bed truck. And this is beginning of phase 2, I'm going to call it. Truck runs, truck drives, does all the stuff it's supposed to do. No check engine lights, no other issues except for an airbag light. And that's going to get corrected in this phase. Maybe not this video, but in this phase. And this phase, I want to turn this bare bones, no frills, no options interior into a nice interior. And this thing, it's got manual windows, manual locks, fully manual seats. It's got the lower level radio. It's got the manual climate HVAC controls. Nothing in the top there, no consoles or anything in the headliner. Non-defrost rear glass. She's as bare bones as it gets without having the super no CD, super boring radio in it. And I want to upgrade this thing. I want to have the power driver's seat. I want power locks. I want power windows. I want remote entry. I'm going to convert it to a full center console. Probably not in this video, but I do want to put an aftermarket head unit in it that I can add a backup camera to, as well as Bluetooth and all of that stuff. And in order to do that, I'm pulling parts from a couple places. The doors, obviously I'm going to need a power window regulator, power lock actuator, all of the window regulator assembly, all of that stuff. Which, conveniently, I have a truck here that I'm pretty much gotten what I can get off of it that is useful. And it had everything in the doors that I need. It had the right power door modules, it had the regulators, all that jazz. So, you can see I've got this thing way apart. I think where I'm going to start on this is getting these doors turned into power doors like this one was. And like I said, I've got the regulators, I've got the harness, I've got the door panel itself. I even took the plastic off because I'm not sure if they're the same or different between a manual door and a power door. So we're going to start out getting those converted. Step 1, obviously, take it apart. Oh, and I forgot to add power mirrors. I have a set of power adjust mirrors with integrated turn signals. We're going to get those put on too. So we got to get this off. I'm going to grab the tools I need. We're going to pop this door panel off. Start getting all the guts out of it that we aren't going to need, and then start getting our new stuff put in. Well, I'm calling it for the night. As you saw, we've got the manual door panel off, got all the guts swapped out, and now I have power door panel, master switch, power mirror with integrated turn signal, everything all back together over here. Unfortunately, I can't test any of it because there's no power supplied through this dash and harness. But happy with the progress. Moved the needle a little bit tonight, and I'll get back down here tomorrow night, probably do the other side. And then after that, I'm not going to have any choice but to get going on swapping the dash out in this thing. So just nibble away. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. It's 2 days from where I left off. I came down last night and I got the passenger door all sorted out. Got the new door panel, got the power door panel. And in case you're not familiar, the passenger door module, which is the part under these switches here, that is what contains your remote keyless entry components, the little transmitter and receiver. Got that put in, all the wiring, everything else, it's all hooked up, passenger door ready to go. And as you can see, last night and this morning, I have been getting the rest of the cab stripped of everything that I don't need in here. Or not really that I don't need, but that I'm replacing. And it seemed like a good point for me to update and show you the differences. This is the dash out of the truck. The bare bones dash, right? We've got the plain radio with CD player, the manual HVAC controls. I added the bed light switch with fog light as well because I added the fog lights. It did not have that originally. You can see the body module, body control module down there, etc., okay? I'm converting to, I want the fancy stuff, right? I want the digital HVAC controls and the better radio. For now, I'm gonna be putting an aftermarket radio in this thing at some point. But for now, this is the dash I have from that donor truck. And you can see it's got the digital HVAC controls. It has the four-wheel drive switch. We don't need the four-wheel drive function, so we'll just delete that switch. All this other stuff, blah, 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 blah. It's got the little, see if I can hold it up here. This is the harness that goes under the center console. As soon as I get one, I do want to put a full center console in this truck. I don't have any that are the right color right now. But in part of doing that change, that swap, the HVAC system is different. And I don't know, I'm not sure if it's just some of the modules and the wiring are different. Well, let me say that again. I know that some of the modules and wiring are different. And simple example here, this is a blower motor resistor. It's a traditional style blower motor resistor for the manual HVAC controls. And this is the blower motor control module for the digital HVAC controls. So you can see they're obviously different. And some of the mode door actuators have different part numbers and different numbers of wires going into them. So from what I can see, the box itself and the ducting looks the same, but the differences are electronic. I'd rather be safe than sorry. I don't want to put all this stuff together and then have it not work. So I'm just taking the whole HVAC system, which is this one, from that donor truck that had the digital controls. I'm going to put the whole thing in there. Now there are some differences. This one, you can see this is the outlet to allow air to go through the center console to the rear because it was an extended cab truck. This is a single cab truck. It's blocked off. So we're gonna put this one onto that box. We can see also that it has, this is the little port to allow air to blow through the center console. I think I misspoke. This port allows air to go under the seats and blow on the feet in the rear. This allows air to go through the center console and blow at chest height to the rear. We don't need that either. But here now I am seeing this box is different from that box. So I'm gonna have to decide, do I just run the ducting in the center console, or do I take this whole thing apart? Because this is all molded in one piece as far as I can tell. Yeah. Do I just take the whole thing apart and just let the air blow out of the vents in the back? I mean, it's not gonna hurt anything, so I may go with that. Might help get it warmer in the truck faster, who knows? But I'm gonna start swapping this stuff over, make sure I have all the parts that I need on the box that's going into the truck. And then, I figure now is as good a time as I'll ever get to get everything in here vacuumed out. Looks like there's a bunch of broken glass from the rear glass being replaced at some point. We've got schmutz down here in the corners. It just tends to accumulate down there. We've got some stuff over here. So I'm gonna get everything as clean as I can get it before we start putting everything back together, and then start putting my fancy parts in. So I figured I'd give you that update, show you some of those differences. Both of these are low mileage units. I'm sure some of you are saying, oh my gosh, you should replace the evaporator and the heater cores while you have it apart. Guys, the one original of the truck has 106,000 miles on it. The one that I'm putting into it, that truck only had 96,000 miles on it. This is low mileage stuff. I don't see any reason or need to be replacing parts just because I have it apart, because it worked fine when I took it apart. It's low mileage. I'm sure it'll work just fine for a long, 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 long time. And if it doesn't, well then, shame on me. So I'm gonna keep going. I'll bring you back in a little bit. Well, folks, I think I'm at a good stopping point for the day. And I'll show you where I'm at. You can see I've got the dash back in. I got the steering column in. I wound up using the column that was original to this cab. It's a low mileage column. It has all the same functions as the column out of my donor truck here. And the donor truck, the leather on the steering wheel was peeling. So I was gonna have to replace that steering wheel anyway. And that column's also got a ton of miles. It's got over 200,000 miles on it. So I figured just use the lower mileage column. It's smoother, it's better lubricated, and the writing on the multifunction switch isn't all worn off of this one like it is on that one. So I used that column, not thinking about the fact that I changed the door handles to match from the donor truck. So I'm gonna have to swap out my ignition with cylinder, which fortunately not a huge deal. Done that a bunch of times. And I'll do that when I'm putting a nice leather wrap steering wheel on here at the same time too. Other issues. As soon as I turned it on, I had a service 4-wheel drive message, because the truck that this dash was out of and harness and everything else that this was out of was a 4-wheel drive truck. Obviously, I don't have any of the 4-wheel drive parts in this truck anymore. What I wound up doing to get rid of that message, first I tried just removing the 4-wheel drive, the transfer case control module. This little guy, this is the transfer case control module. It mounts under the dash, just above the parking brake pedal. Pulled that out first, didn't resolve my problem. So then I thought, this body control module talks to the 4-wheel drive module. I wonder if the body control module is looking for information from that transfer case control module, and that's why it's triggering the service four-wheel drive message. So I swapped out the body control module. This is the one that was in that dash, originally four-wheel drive truck, with the body control module from my donor truck here that was originally a two-wheel drive truck. And that took care of my service four-wheel drive message. So now, you can see it starts up. No other lights. I still have this airbag light. Now though, I think that airbag light is because I don't have the airbag control module or the seat belt sensors hooked up right now. I haven't put the cab harness back in yet. But otherwise, no more service four-wheel drive message. I still have function and my power windows are working. My power mirrors are working. I wonder if my signals work. My indicators in the power mirrors are working. The one thing I've hit is my lock and unlock. Power locks are not working. But I suspect that may be because I have a body module that does not match the steering column. A body control module, rather. Wait, does it? No, my body control module does not match my steering column. So that may have the anti-theft system a little bit grumpy. Hopefully that'll resolve when I swap out the ignition cylinder in the steering column. If not, I'll check fuses, I'll check the other stuff. But I was trying to, you can see also my climate controls are working, which is super cool. Very excited about that. Can put the fan up, change the zone, blah, blah, blah. Turn it off. But you see my radio is locked. Again, the radio communicates with the body control module and they are mismatched now. So, not a huge deal. I'm planning to replace the radio anyway. But that's where I'm at for now. Still a few things to figure out, but I'm comfortable enough at this point that I think I can finish putting everything back together. I can get the floor harness in, the airbag module, carpet, seats, etc., etc., etc. So I think I'm calling it for the day, and then I'll get after that stuff tomorrow. So it's been a little bit. I think where I left off was I had everything out of the truck, all the interior out. Well, I've put it back together. Center console, the whole dash, door panels, seats. Got the power seat on the driver's side. That works. Center console is all hooked up, cigarette lighter, 12-volt thing, those all work. The climate controls are working. Does what it's supposed to do. No more trouble lights in the dash. As I suspected, swapping in the correct body harness and getting that plugged into the front end harness. Took care of my airbag light, trouble code there. And as you saw, I have stripped off the headliner. The headliner was a mess. So I got the old cloth peeled off. I got all the foam brushed off. I just use a stiff bristle plastic brush, and that does a pretty good job of removing all the old foam. My new headliner fabric just got here a little bit ago. It's a pretty darn good match. Let me grab a visor and I'll show you here. It's a pretty darn good match. I'm sure after a little bit of time, you won't even be able to tell the difference. So I'm happy with that. I'm just waiting on glue to get here so I can stick the headliner material to the headliner. And part of what I'm changing and what I want to do is this. I want to add the little overhead console in the center. It's got map lights in it, so I can have more light in the cab in conjunction to the regular dome light. So to do that, I used the headliner for my extended cab parts truck, and I just traced the opening right onto my single cab headliner and cut it out with a razor knife. That was super easy. I also took the wire harness from that headliner because it has the power for the map lights in the overhead console, and then just glued it back in just like the factory harness was. I had a little extra length in the rear section. I just looped it, and that comes up to the third brake light there. From here, it runs down the A pillar, down alongside the dash, and then to the fuse panel down by your feet. But the next thing I want to do, that center console is supported to the roof, attached to the roof, with one screw here in the center, which fortunately the hole was already there. So all I had to do was grab the little nut, the part that the screw goes into, from my parts truck. And then you can see I've got some of the primer sanded off here and primer sanded off here in the back, because I need to attach this piece. And this piece goes in, attaches to the roof. In the extended cab, which I took this out of that extended cab truck, it's just riveted to the, or spot welded to the supports. I don't want to weld because I don't want to burn the paint off the top of the cab. So I've prepped it as good as I can. I've got everything clean on the back side, well, the top side here, as you saw, sanded clean on the inside of the roof. So I'm going to try to stick it up there with panel bond. I mean, panel bond is about as close as it gets to welding without actually welding, in my experience. So I'm going to give that a shot and see if it holds it up there. Because the center console, these two long skinny holes here, when the center console is mounted, you can see the screw here that goes into the part that I was just showing you. And then these clips at the back snap into this part here. So I guess that's, I'm going to give it a wipe down with acetone, get it as clean as I possibly can get it, and then grab the panel bond and see if I can't stick this up into place. Alrighty, so got my panel bond here, everything's wiped off with acetone. You can see I've got some magnets up on the roof that will help me hold everything in place while I want to get some like props set up underneath so I can really hold some good pressure on these mating surfaces while my panel bond cures. I'm using a Polymix brand of panel bond. Hopefully it works. Okay. Get everything oriented the right way here. Go. And honestly, guys, this stuff should be, this should be more than strong enough to hold it. That console only weighs, I don't even think the console weighs a whole pound. And then, what am I gonna put in there? A pair of keys, some sunglasses. So not a lot of weight. And honestly, this bracket probably weighs more than the console does. Oh, all right, you just gotta hold it up here a little bit. Well, I guess now I just wait and just let the panel bond set. All right, everybody. So next day, and as you just saw, I've reupholstered my headliner. Not perfect, but definitely the best one I've done so far. A few little wrinkles over here, not major. Pretty good on the other side. So I'm pretty darn happy with that. Like I said, best one I've done. So with that ready, next thing is get my supports down from in here and make sure my little center console support bracket is secured. Let's take the magnets out. Whoa! All right, so that probably wasn't doing much. Great, magnets. Magnets. Well, it didn't immediately fall on my head. That's good. Oh, yeah. That should be more than strong enough. Again, all it's got to do is hold up itself, and then my little center console snaps into these two slots here. So that should be, yeah, that should be more than strong enough for what it needs to do. All right. Woohoo! And I figure, in case you're wondering, I don't have any advice for doing a headliner. Like I said before, I use a stiff bristled plastic brush to get all of the old foam off of the backing board, and then get your new headliner material. I mean, there's tons of places. I ordered this piece on Amazon. It seemed like it was going to be the right color, and it's pretty darn close to the right color. I got 3M headliner adhesive, which seemed to work really well. I've used this before, high strength 90. Also worked when I did that. I actually like this a little bit better though. This was a little bit easier to work and get the wrinkles out, especially because some places I had to stick and unstick the material to work the wrinkles out of it. So like that. And outside of that, you just have to go slow and take your time. When you have a little wrinkle, you gotta unstick it, try to spread the material. Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 tries. My hang up here was coming out of this corner. I wound up with too much material here in the outside corner. And I did the best I could to try to spread it evenly, but you can see I still have some just some little wrinkles here. Fortunately, that'll be behind my head, so I won't see it very often. And that seems to be a good trick too. I do the passenger side first because I'll be able to see that when I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I save the driver's area for last because what's behind me and over my head, I won't see very often. So if it's not perfect, it's not gonna really irk me, bug me. So I think that means that it's time to start putting everything back together. Get the headliner wiggled in there, get it mounted up, all the little accessories, the visors, the grab handle, the hanger hooks here in the back, dome light, center console, get all that stuff put back up where it goes. So I'll do that and I'll see you guys after. Well, it's a little bit later and it's back in. And guys and girls, I am quite happy with how this turned out. I think it looks great. You can see I've got my map lights and my dome light working like they're supposed to. Let me see here. I've got the compass and exterior temperature working in the rear view mirror like they're supposed to. Can you see that? There you go. Radio works. I don't pick up any radio here in the workshop, but it does work. HVAC works. And no more error lights, except put on your seatbelt, Jason. So, I'm very excited. It's the first time I've done this substantial of an interior upgrade in one of these trucks. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I also have working remote entry on this thing. So, one of the most substantial interior upgrades I've done on one of these trucks. The full center console, the 6-disc CD changer radio. I did have to, there's lots of videos on how to do this online. My father-in-law is visiting and he changed the VIN in the radio to match the BCM so that it would unlock. Long story short, I don't have the patience or the tooling to do it. He did, so he did that for me to get it unlocked and functioning as it should. And man, I'm really excited about this one. I'm proud of this one. And I think that means next step is a few basic checks. I need to check the front brakes, make sure there's enough pad left on those. Check the rear shoes, make sure there's plenty of pad left on those, or I guess shoe lining left on those. So I can be sure the brakes are all working. You can see I stuck a tonneau on that I had from one of my parts trucks, these rail covers from one of my parts trucks. Happy with how those look. Knocked off all the miscellaneous badging from the different trucks that I had, so she's just clean. And yeah. Final once over, check all the little knickknacks and odds and ends to make sure it's ready for inspection. And then take it and get it inspected so I can start driving this thing a bit. So I think that's a good place to stop on this video. That's all my interior upgrades. You saw me already finish the drivetrain. Hopefully next video on this truck, you'll see me take it out for a drive, see how it does. That's it for this one. Thanks a lot for watching, and until then, take care.